Not every change to a setting is bad, and I want to talk about that today on Greyhawk Ragnar. Before we get going, I just want to remind everybody that this is a collaboration with myself, Eric Tenkar, Joe the lawyer, and as we say farewell to Don Zamora as our fourth collaborator, we say hello to Glenn Welch of the Mr. Welch's YouTube channel. So if you're watching my video on any of their channels, please, I hope you'll like and subscribe. If you're watching any of them on my channel, please do the same for them. That said, let's get going. So obviously, in recent days, I've come out with a couple of videos saying how bad change is and stuff. But I wanted to kind of give a more nuanced view of that because, while that is true, well, the points I made in those other videos are valid. It is also true that change is not always bad, right? There are some changes, especially when you're talking about changes to settings that not only make alterations, but are actually beneficial to the setting. They improve the setting. Now, there are some examples of bad changes and retcons and things that just land like a lead sausage. To my mind, the idea that the Elder Elemental God is just a facet of Tharizdun, for example, as we saw in Return of the Temple of Elemental Evil. That was a terrible, terrible thing. Or making Prince Thrommel in the same module, making him an actual vampire, is just an awful, awful retcon that not only does not help the setting and does not help the adventure, but actually demeans it and makes it worse objectively. And another, in my to my mind, making Tasha and Igwil the Witch Queen the same person was just pointless and didn't help anything, and only in my mind, only made things worse because I like the things to be. I don't see why everybody has to be connected to everything to each other. So anyway, that said, I want to talk about positive changes. And to my mind, one of the most positive changes to the World of Greyhawk setting is one that's actually very controversial. A lot of people don't like it, and I didn't like it at the time. But over the years, I've come to like it more and more and see how it actually did help the setting. And that is the Greyhawk Wars and From the Ashes. I think advancing the timeline in that fashion worked because it was organic to the setting. It was actually a continuation of the events, not only that we saw in the Gold Box, but also that Gary Gygax and Rob Kuntz were writing about in Dragon Magazine in the events of the Flyness articles in the early '80s, and then came the Greyhawk Wars, which took those events. Because don't forget, it wasn't Greyhawk Wars and From the Ashes that advanced the timeline. Rob and Gary were doing that in Dragon Magazine. They were saying this is, because the Gold Box was set in 576. Those articles were telling about stuff that was happening in 577 and 578, and I believe even in 579. So that was, that was they were advancing the timeline already. So that was not something that was foreign to the setting. It was happening almost immediately after it was published. So anyway, but over the years, I've come to really appreciate that because it is taking the natural momentum of what was happening and just expanding it and carrying it through. And I think something like that, when it's done, with respect and with obvious love for the setting, I think it works very well because, it does give the DM an anchor point for if you don't want to start your campaign in 576, it gives you an alternative. You can still, it doesn't invalidate the 576 stuff. It just gives you another option. And I think when changes to settings are done that way, I think they're a positive thing. And then of course they carried the setting forward yet again, and kind of rolled back some of the big changes that were in the Greyhawk Wars and From the Ashes, which again, you see that is something that's actually built into the deep tissue of Greyhawk, is that idea of the pendulum swinging, right? So in 576, good is kind of on the ascendance, and then by 585, evil is now ascendant, and then by 591, they kind of roll it back again. So I think you see that natural progression, and that is built into the setting because we see that in the Gore of the Rogue books, that there are actual forces that do that make that happen, that make sure the wheel keeps turning, and neither good nor evil, law nor chaos is ever truly dominant. These are the forces of balance. You see this with Mordenkainen. You see this with the Druids. You see this with the Cabal and the Hierophants and things. There are active forces that make sure nobody keeps on top. And the swings that we see in the various published versions of Greyhawk are showing that. So by making those changes, by carrying the setting forward like that, you're actually reinforcing one of the central themes of the setting without saying so overtly. And I think that is a really neat way of doing it. Whether or not that was conscious on their part, it remains to be seen. But I think that because you can see it that way, I think it really does help like that. So I just wanted to get out there that not every change is bad. But I would love to hear your thoughts on it. And just a reminder that right now, my the Kickstarter for my final Adventures Dark and Deep book, the Book of Fell Wisdom, is live right now. If you go to kickstarter.brwgames.com, you will be able to find it and support it. It has a whole bunch of new material, new optional rules. It's got necromancers and witches, and it's got rules for alchemy. It's got myconic druids who are in the Underdark and use fungi instead of oak leaves and stuff like that. It's got rules for courtly intrigue. Some of it's been previously published in various forms, but this is, all that's been cleaned up and changes have been made based on feedback that I've received over the years. Plus, it's got a ton of new material as well. So definitely something you want to enhance your game with if you're playing any old school game. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. Please do check out our live stream on Sunday where we'll be talking about this and other topics. And I hope you're all doing really, really well. Tell me what you think about the idea that some changes to settings can be beneficial, just like some changes can be detrimental. So hope you're all having a great day, and I will talk to you all later.
Thanks for watching today's video. Please remember to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Below you'll find links to my Patreon, which helps make these videos possible. You'll also find the web store where you can buy my books, and my blog where you'll find all sorts of free downloads and other articles. Thanks, and have a great day.